Hello y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So this is part 2 of crafting with whatever is on my desk. So yesterday, it was yesterday. So the first part was we made this out of the base is those cardboard things that when you buy fabric cut into yards of 2 and 5 already, they come in that very thick cardboard base. So we just cut that down and then put this together. And so this morning when I went to fold it gently into a book shape like that, I cracked the edge there. And so we're not going to take care of that today, but we will fix that and I will show you how. So we're going to put this aside. And so I had already started to record this second part, and my husband came home and the dog started freaking out. And so he was saying some very colorful language. And since I don't know how to edit, we had to start all over. So what I was doing in that was taking the papers that were on my desk and folding them or cutting them down or tearing them down to size, actually, so they'll fit in here. And this here was this. Now, I consider this to be ugly paper, and it might not be ugly to other people, but this is not something that I would generally use. And so this is what I do with it. And this is why I keep all those little scraps. So I'm going to put this aside for right now and put these aside for right now. And what we're going to do is make this piece look like that piece. And real quick before we get started there, I know in my first video, part 1, I said that I wasn't going to save those little scraps that I tore off, but I did because this is what I made. You can make anything out of nothing. This is just little scraps that normally are so small, maybe not even a half an inch wide, various lengths because I tore them, and you just put them all together. And then I have this 5/8 circle punch from We Are Memory Keepers, and I just punched a circle out of some of the scrap paper that was just lying on my desk, and now we have a flower. So there's that. Put that aside. So this is all the little scraps that were left over. Now I'm not going to use this one and that just because that is cardstock, and that can be used for pockets and tucks and stuff like that. So, and so can these. This is cardstock also, but you can just put that like right there, and then you have a little spot to tuck something in. But that's not what we're doing right now. So this is everything that's left over, and we're just going to randomly put scrap paper down so it looks like this. So I like to start in the corners just because it's easier for me to get a good idea on what I'm going to need to just randomly fill in the rest of the space. So so the other day, this one woman that had watched one of my videos and then commented on it. I was talking about the fact that I missed an F-bomb in some of the pages I had to take out of the journal that I was working on at the time. And I didn't realize that book was going to be thrown away, so I have no qualms about tearing it apart. If it's going to go to the landfill, might as well give it a second life, right? But I did not read that book, and so it was given to me. So since I didn't read it, I did not realize how many F-bombs were in there. And she commented and said, people say that people that use a lot of cuss words tend to be a little bit smarter, and I don't know if that's true or not. But if it is, then I is super smart, and so is my husband, because he likes the colorful words. So I'm just going to tear some of these, but I'm not keeping that, I swear. Yep, in the trash. Okay. So this is scrapbook paper, and so is this. Some of this other stuff is, or actually, let's see, that's cardstock. I do have some, oh here, this here, we're not going to use this either because this is scrapbook paper. So it is a little bit thicker than this scrapbook paper because it's double-sided. Or maybe not because it's double-sided, but because of the brand, I guess. So we're going to use that for either a pocket or a tuck, or most likely a journal card, just because of the size. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, I'm not going to keep that little circle on there, but I am going to tear it just enough where you can see that line. This is notebook paper that I had cabbage dyed, and that side seems darker, so we're going to use this side to glue. Okay, we're just going to put that right there. And this doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to square up the edges, but you need to get the edges so that ugly paper isn't seen. So I'm super excited. When I got up this morning, I had 19 subscribers. Woohoo! Keep on keeping on. Do what you love. And share it with the world. Okay. As a matter of fact, one of the ladies that I watch, Natasha from Treasure Books, just released a book called Treasure Bookmaking, I think. I did buy it. I got it in last week, and I am reading it in bed because that's pretty much the only downtime I get. My phone never stops, but I'm only up to page 43 or whatever, but it is very informative and very well written. And if you don't have it, this is not sponsored, but if you don't have it, I suggest maybe you look into getting it if you can afford it, because she's one of the women that I originally started watching, and her videos are just awesome. She just explains everything so well, and she I don't know, I watch her like all the time, and I can't wait for one of her videos to come up because she's always got something new and exciting going on, like overly large paper buttons. How do you do that? I actually tried that, and I don't see how she got hers to lay flat, but that's something that I'm going to go back to and see if I can't figure it out. So what else have we got here? Put that right that way. Which side's prettier? That side. This is part of the cabbage dyed paper that I did last week. And they all came out different colors because I had used, what else do we have over here? I had used, oh, we have sticker paper. I forgot what I was saying. That happens a lot. This I was using for a completely different project. I was making a mosaic for something else that I'm doing. And since it's sitting here on my desk, we're just going to use it. And I totally did forget what I was going to say, but I think what I was saying was I get excited when one of her new videos comes out because she's always got something new and different. That's a rosebud. Okay, we'll put that right there. And right, that's what these little scraps are for. We're going to put that right there. Oh, paper buttons, yeah. So I tried the paper buttons, and I don't see how she got them flat. So I'm going to have to go back and watch that again and see if I can't figure out how to make the string. Oh, maybe I could use embroidery floss instead, because I think I was using twine. That's an idea. Okay, what else do we got here? What do we got over there? That's not necessarily the right color. But we do have a really neat, maybe that'll go there later. Okay. Let's use a little bit of this. Actually, let's tear out. Oh, okay, so depending on what side you tear, which direction, so I'm going to show you. This I pulled forward, and you're going to leave a white edge, and this, if you pull if you pull this towards you, you're going to get a white edge on the side you're not using. If you, oh man, this is not working out how I'm trying to explain it. So, but you see how you can see white there and no white there. So if you tear it away from you, the white edge is going to be on the bottom. And we're just going to make this all uneven. And depending on what I do, what I'm making is going to depend on which direction I tear that. Do I want that white edge to show, or do I not? And if I do, is it because I'm going to ink it, or is it going to be in a spot that I'm not necessarily going to see? What else do we got in here? What's this? Oh, okay. All right, one more little, okay, we're just going to tear some of this off and cover up that last spot there. And we don't need that big of a piece. Okay, and you know what? We're gonna, okay, this is my favorite tool. Pointy tweezers. They are so good for so many different things. Peeling up things that you've already stuck down and then went, oh, wait a minute, I want something else right there. Okay, there we go. So this needs to dry, but this is going to be part of our, oh, we have a little spot there that I can still see the ugly paper, so we're going to put this piece right there. And so we are going to wait for that to dry. And once it's dry, like I see on this one that I made last night, there's still a little bit of that ugly paper there. And we're going to take care of that once these are dry. Well, this is already dry. But we're going to put that aside. So always cover your glue. I'm using Fabri-Tac or Fabri-Fix. They're both by Beacon. Whichever one, it's the same stuff basically. So what I did in the video that I can't use because I don't know how to edit is I went through all these papers and I tore them down to size, and what I'm going to do is just take the ones that I have matching sides for and put them in, we're just gonna, let's see, that one goes with this one. No, it doesn't. We're just gonna separate them first, and then we're going to put them in our signatures, and then we're going to decide how many papers we can use, and or because of the width, I mean the width of the spine. So the width of the spine is going to determine exactly how many pages we can use. I'll show you what to do with that in a minute. Okay. So let's see. And Kool-Aid, grape Kool-Aid, that's what this is. You can dye paper with just about anything, and so if you're using like a Kool-Aid, make sure that it's sugar-free. I've also used sugar-free Crystal Light coffee. That's an oddball. What else? Tea. Yeah, I don't know. Avocado dyed paper. Okay, so those we're going to put aside because this is cardstock, and so we can probably, see, that wasn't cut straight either. We can get some tucks, some tags out of that, and these are just random. Let me see. Oh, I folded that the wrong way. So just because this is printed paper doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to keep this one on the outside, but how we're going to do that is we're just going to go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You go here, you go here, you go here, and you go here. Okay, so we're just going to work with one for right this second. And these are going to actually be what I put my signatures in, so we can put them in the book as signatures. And so I'm just going to start taking random pages and putting them together. They don't have to be all the same size. They don't have to exactly fit. I got a lot of these. Okay, let's see. And we're just going to tear these down to size to make them fit. And we're just going to put them in an order that, let's use this one. Yeah, we're going to fold this one the other way because that's a really, that kind of matches that color there. It's pretty. And I keep, this is lined notebook paper. In my opinion, it does not dye very well the way that I dye because I like to keep my solution, or my papers in the solution overnight. And some papers are just way too fragile for that. Which notebook paper falls in that category, because it's thinner than regular copy paper. Oh, maybe you can only get, okay, what else do we got here? I'm not going to use that one. I already got one of those in. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, which one is the dry one? Okay, this one is the dry one. So what we're going to do is, it already fits that way. Let's fold this in half because I need to see how much I need to cut off. Okay, where's my bone folder? Make that a nice crisp edge. And we're going to straighten that up. And we're just going to cut it off just a little bit because I don't want it too much smaller than the inside. But your papers don't necessarily have to be all inside. Sometimes some of my papers stick out, and that makes it a little bit intriguing because you're like, oh, this paper is sticking out. Is it important? What's on it? Is it super pretty? Is that why it's sticking out? Is it something we can write on, collage on? Okay. Okay, so that tore a little bit, and so what I'm gonna do is, this is a fingernail file. As you can see, it's very dirty because I use this quite often, and I don't think that's torn. Really, we might have to fix that corner with something else. But this gets off any edges, just like filing your fingernails. This works well to smooth out paper. Okay, so I think that's the order that I want them in. And yeah, that's gonna fit. So is this one dry yet? Not really. Okay, so what we're gonna do with this is I see one sticking, a little piece sticking up here, and I'm just gonna use glue stick and put a little bit of glue on that and then mash that down. And here too. Mash that down. I think everything else is good. Okay. So, and this doesn't even have to be the same size as that one does. I generally like to keep the section that's housing my signatures, I like it to be made out of cardstock or, you know, some sort of thicker paper, just to let you know that it's like the beginning of the section. But I do use cardstock, ledger paper, like you can use anything. When I first started doing this, I would tell my husband, oh, please don't throw that away, because I can use that. And I would get home from work and I would go to throw something in the trash can and I would be like, why are you throwing this away? This is perfectly good stuff. And so now I'll come home from work and I find just the most random things on my desk. It's super funny because, you know, no offense, guys, but men don't always tend to listen. And now I guess that I've said that to him so much that he just puts everything on my desk now. Doesn't matter what it is. I told him, you know, those bags that the oranges come in, don't throw that away because that's how you fix that. And then you can keep this as a scrap to collage with something later. So I come home to some seriously funny random stuff on my desk because he doesn't know what to keep and what to throw away. And I don't blame him, because, you know, he's a guy. He doesn't do this, although he's very supportive, and I love that because this is something new to me, and he's excited that I'm excited over it. So yeah, we'll put that right there. Which is funny because when I'm done making something, I will show it to him, and he'll come back with, you know, that looks really good, but I think that you should do this instead, or do this next time. Right? I've made him an expert in junk journal making just because I show him everything. He's so cute. Okay. And one of my friends last week posted something on Facebook that made me laugh because I forget exactly what it said, but it was something like the husband says to or the wife says to the husband, see, I can fit all our stuff in one box. And it says, stop calling our house a box, which I think is hysterical. So what we're gonna do is, this fits up against that way, and I want all these papers torn. So I'm just gonna mark right there. And we are going to take, oh, did I not get all my papers in there? I missed one. I missed a couple. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, we are going to not put that one there. We're going to put this one here. And now we're going to put that one there. And then we're just going to tear these at random. And depending on how many you try and tear at once, you'll get a really good deckled edge. You can make your own. See, again, you don't have to buy all that expensive stuff. And again, we're going to keep all these scraps because these scraps are going to be used for collaging on something. Not necessarily this project, but for something. Okay, so I think this is how, so I ended up doing that, getting that really rough. Yeah, see, that one's not going to work because it's too short, so we're going to have to pull that. Oh, where's my, lost my tweezers. All right, we'll get back to that. We're just going to tear that off, and I'll show you that in a minute. Oh no, I'm going to lose that. Okay, so I don't want to lose that, so what I'm going to do is I am just going to fold that into a smaller piece so I can make sure that I get that in there. That's gonna fit. Okay, great. And then what we're gonna do with this is we're just gonna fold it in, and then you can have a little flip out so you still have that journaling space right there. Okay. Back to tearing. So I have two phones. One is supposed to be personal, and it ended up to be all work related. And I'm gonna have to, I texted a couple of my friends today and said, the other phone that I've had for 20 years, maybe 19 years, definitely, that phone will be turned off during the weekends because I need time off. And you know, so okay, here we go. And so I said, if you need to get a hold of me on the weekends, use this phone, please. And so she's texting me on that phone right now. I'll get it in a minute. Okay, so that will stick out just a little bit, but that's okay. I like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that to the other one off camera. So this is part 2, and when we come back for part 3, I'm gonna show you how to put these in and keep them in. As a matter of fact, I have an example right here. So we're gonna this is called a 3 pamphlet stitch, and so this is how I'm going to put it in here. And we might do a flip through on that, and a video at a later date. So this is where we're at, part 2. I hope you liked what you saw. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you at my next video. Stay tuned.